high and deep to left. It is gone! 3-run home run, Kyle Kubat. Fly ball to left, Sweeney hit well, and Charlie Capsella, what a play! Here's a line drive out to center field. It's a grand slam! Going back to Shaw, he is going to get there. What a catch! And he's going to hop over the fence while doing it. What a coming home! It's Morales to throw on a double hop! Is it in time? It is in time! Here's a rocket. Deep left field. Does this have a chance to go? It is gone! Go ahead, homer! Tyler Wilkins on the first pitch! Play called for a back on the 14th, and there's number 100. Stephen Devaney with a line drive to left. He's 2 for 2. And with triple digits for number 1 as difference. And here's a ground ball shooting through the left side. And Kingsway has won the Ralph Shaw opener. Here we go. Fly ball deep left center field. And it is gone. Grand slam. Scott Lynch, grand slam. Is the man of the hour. There's a ground ball. Field. Going to be picked up, and it's going to be booted. Here comes the runner to the plate, and Pittman has won it in extras. Walk-off single, Jude Engstrom. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons in the Ralph Shaw Classic.
Not often do you get to do playoffs on your birthday, but today is a very special occasion. Welcome to coverage of the NJSIAA South Jersey Group 1 Sectional Semifinals right here at one of the most interesting venues in South Jersey at Woodbury High School for coverage between the Burlington City Blue Devils and the Woodbury Thundering Herd right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Bright and early, kickoff time set for 10:30. It's going to be an excellent game today with 2 high-powered offenses and 2 teams that blew their opponents out in the first round and are now going head-to-head in what will be a very even Game 2 of the playoffs. For Burlington City this year with Kadin Booker in their WJFL Freedom Division, they were 8-2 with the lone losses being to another Group 1 powerhouse in Glassboro, which is already set for the Central Jersey Group 1 sectional final next Friday versus Shalek after they beat the Shore Blue Devils 16-14 last night on a great 63-yard run by Kenai Simmons of the Shalek Cougars. But what's different, let's not talk about Shalek or Glassboro, let's talk about Burlington City. They have not lost a game since September 16th when they fell to Cinnaminson on the road, and in fact, they've only lost 2 games all year, 8-2. They had a 27-7 loss versus Glassboro in Week 2, and then in Week 4, a 38-8 loss to Cinnaminson. But can you believe it? They caught fire in the middle of the season, beating Buna, New Egypt, Bordentown, Palmyra, and Maple Shade, only allowing 7 points in those last 5 games of the campaign. They've outscored them by over 200-7. I mean, it's incredible how prolific this Burlington City offense is. And then they played the Middlesex Blue Jays last week, beating them 60-15. So they've had a relatively easy road to where they are now, but now they play the defending Group 1 state champions, the Woodbury Thundering Herd. And of course, with Anthony Reagan Jr., with anything in Woodbury, it is not going to come easy for Burlington City, especially coming in to an intense crowd and an intense stadium on the road from Burlington City. You know, these guys are going to be in a tough situation. But Woodbury's had a weird season. The year after winning their state championship in 2022, they hit a bit of a rough patch in the middle, having 3 games in a row where they lost to Haddonfield, Gloucester, and Woodstown. Now, those are all powerhouses, but with the way that they've been playing last year, it was a stark contrast. They rebounded towards the end of the season, beating Salem to close it out 49-14, and with a 4-3 record. So they came into this bracket looking pretty good, and they beat Riverside 40-8 in the first round of the playoffs. And the winner of this game will face either Pennsgrove or Woodstown, will face Woodstown because they beat Pennsgrove by a large margin last night in Woodstown. Brian Tortella was there. He did an excellent job reporting that game. Tortella and McGurk are here on the sideline for us today, or just in general on social media. You know, it's going to be an excellent game. We're up here bright and early in Woodbury. These are two prolific offenses that are going to make for a high-scoring game. My take, I think Woodbury's going to take it, but by one score, maybe even just a couple of points to skin away their second playoff win and set them up for a sectional final versus the Woodstown Wolverines. As these guys are getting ready to go, they're going to the locker rooms. They're getting ready to get set up here from the Woo, as they call it, built in 1902. Woodbury High School. It's the Thundering Herd and the Blue Devils coming up next right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go for kitchen cabinets, countertops, and cabinet accessories, heavily discounted compared to big box retailers. Stop in, take a seat, and watch as our experienced kitchen designer makes the kitchen of your dreams right in front of you. Tommy D's is the best in the business for quality kitchen countertops and cabinets that fit all budgets. Call us today at 856-210-9504 or visit the new location in person on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue in Belmar next to the 42 on-ramp. Burlington City and Woodbury's captains are meeting at the 50, getting ready to go for the coin toss. Only the best of the best get to play here in Woodbury, and this is exactly what we have here on this beautiful, although a bit crispy, Saturday morning here. Dan Howie down there on the sideline as well, the Woodbury athletic director. We've got a great crowd on hand and one of the most electric atmospheres in South Jersey and one of the most unique venues in South Jersey here at the Woodbury High School, the Inspira Hospital in the background in a very industrialized part of South Jersey. This is an excellent town, an excellent atmosphere, and an excellent school as well. And this is an excellent football program for the reigning Group 1 state champions. With Anthony Reagan Jr. and Bolden, the head coach for Burlington City, this is an excellent schedule and an excellent roster of these guys from both sides. Kadim Booker for Burlington City. This is an excellent crew that these guys have put together, and we're going to have a great game today. Now, talking to some of the folks that we had spoken to before the game, Woodbury is the favorite, but not by much. You know, you look at the games that they've played this year, and they hit that rough patch in the middle of the season, losing 3 straight to Haddonfield, Gloucester, and Woodstown. Now, Haddonfield and Gloucester were both games at home that they had lost, and it was the only home games that they had lost all year, beating Pennsgrove, West Deptford, and Paulsboro to start off the year with a 3-0 start. But then those 3 losses brought them right down to 3-3, closing off the year with a dominant 49-14 win over Salem. And again, versus the Riverside Rams, they beat them 40-8 in that first round of South Jersey Group 1. Woodbury's going to be on the right side. They're going to get ready to take the field very shortly. But here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, if you're just tuning in, if you're getting in bright and early, if you're making your sunny side-up eggs, we welcome you to coverage of the Woodbury Thundering Herd and the Burlington City Blue Devils right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We're going to keep it here as these guys get ready to take the field. Again, Woodbury won the toss. They chose to defer, so Burlington City will receive to start the ball game as the Blue Devils in the blue and white take the field.
Burlington City Blue Devils. They're coached by Connor Rooney, Jameer Smith, Anthony Robbins, Connor O'Hara, Terrell Rouse, and Jasheem Rover.
Woodbury now getting ready to take the field to go back through the banner. Strictly business, it says. We'll keep it here so you can listen in on the action. Woodbury is here, and Woodbury is here to play.
Led by head coach Anthony Reagan, assistant Lamont Knoll, Jamal White, George Brooks, Ron Gibson, and Mark Johnson.
So both teams have taken the field, which means that very shortly we will have 48 minutes of incredible South Jersey football action here from Woodbury High School. I'm Dan Wilkins with my producer Donna to my right. We have our social media coordinator Anthony DePalma and our graphics crew Gavin Van Brell, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan. It is an excellent day. It is a beautiful day. Even though I have sweatpants and a hoodie on, it is a great day for football no matter what the weather is, and we'll see what we can get today.
It's also a great day for your 18th birthday, Dan.
Well,
Happy
yes,
birthday.
yes. Well, you didn't need to say that,
Yes, I
but
did.
this is the second time that I'm having a broadcast on my birthday. Last 2 years ago, we had Audubon and Haddon Township boys soccer on the November 4th, and we'll play the national anthem.
Are you ready for some football?
Well, you know what that means. It's time to play ball. Here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, it's the Burlington City Blue Devils and the Woodbury Thundering Herd here in the semifinal round of the South Jersey Group 1 sectionals. The winner of this game will play Woodstown next Friday or Saturday, depending on who wins this game. If Burlington City wins, it would be in Woodstown on Friday night. But if Woodbury wins, if I speak correctly, it would be in Woodbury on Saturday with a 10:30 a.m. start. So we've got a good one today. Woodbury is coached by Anthony Reagan, 5-3 this year, rebounding after a rough patch in the middle of the season, looking to continue their playoff run and defend their state championship ring from 2022. Burlington City looking to be the underdogs on the road. With an 8-2 record, their lone losses to Glassboro and Cinnaminson, but they have only allowed 22 points since September 21st. They shut out Buna, New Egypt, Palmyra, and Maple Shade. 4 out of their last 5 games of the regular season were shutouts, and in the one that wasn't, it was a 41-7 win over the Bordentown Scotties. And then, of course, last week they played the Middlesex Blue Jays, beating them 60-15 in what was their 22nd point allowed since that stretch of September 16th. But Woodbury's going to get ready to send this one away. Burlington City will receive, and we'll get ready for some excellent football this morning here from Woodbury High School. Sending it away, number 3, Jaden Johnson, the wide receiver and safety. Johnson's going to get ready. He keeps it low. He'll send it away, and it's going to go out of bounds, and there will be a flag on that one for an illegal kick out of bounds. Jaquay Knight was the closest one to that ball for the Blue Devils, but that will give Burlington City some favorable fielding position to start this ball game. But, you know, the way that these two offenses play, they're extremely prolific offenses. They pass the ball a lot. They're not afraid to move the ball around in any way, shape, or form. They're not restricted to one kind of offense. They really just switch around no matter what position that they're in. So the way that these guys play is an excellent game, and I think that this is going to be a high-scoring game just because of how good these offenses are at keeping the ball moving in a forward direction. The starting QB, Aiden Shancy, in the shotgun. With 2 men to his left, they put a man in motion, Malachi James. James has it, rolls out to the far sideline, and that is not going to get too far, and he is going to stay in bounds. So the first play of Burlington City's offensive resume is not going to get too far, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10 after neutral gain.
2nd down upcoming for the Blue Devils.
Second and 10 for the Blue Devils. Again, Shancy, the senior in the shotgun, drops back, takes it up the middle. He's got pressure from the right, and he's going to be taken down by Woodbury's number 56, Isaac Sanyal. And that's going to be 3rd down after a gain of about 2 as a minute has elapsed here in the first quarter. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 8 for the Blue Devils. Well, I mean, I was predicting that these guys would be able to move the ball pretty efficiently, and obviously only 2 plays have passed, but the way that we are looking at it right now, Woodbury's defense seems to be getting a good rap on Aiden Shancy. But the question is, are they going to be able to keep that consistent throughout the whole game? Because it looks like he's going to go for his first pass of the afternoon. It is over the head of number 11, Jaquay Knight, and it's going to be incomplete, and that's going to be a 3-and-out for the Blue Devils. So they'll bring their special teams unit out, and Burlington City will look to play defense a little bit more efficiently than they played offense in that first drive. 10:24 left in the first. Going back to send this one away. Looks like it's going to be Aiden Shancy. So They'll send it away from their own 37. Woodbury back to receive. Shancy, muffs the punt. It's not really going to get anywhere. And where did that ball land? It kind of masqueraded itself and hit itself between everybody in the blue and gold. But Woodbury is going to get the ball back on their own 45. And that is where we'll set up first and 10 with 10:17 on the board as Anthony Reagan's Thundering Herd get their first opportunity on their own 45. This broadcast is brought to you by Tommy D's Home Improvement, the place to be for wholesale kitchen cabinets and countertops at heavily discounted rates compared to big box retailers. Visit today on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue in Belmar, next to the 42 on-ramp. From their own 45. Victorelli gets the handoff, and that's going to be enough for a first down and maybe more from number 6, Robbie Meadows. He keeps it rolling, and it's going to be a one-play touchdown, Woodbury. How about that for a thundering start for the Thundering Herd? One play. Anthony Reagan. And he is pumped. That's going to make it 6-0, just a minute and 55 into this one. They'll go for the PAT. Jaden Johnson to kick. Holding is number 4, the quarterback, Donta Victorelli. They'll get ready to send this one away for a chance at 7. And Blue Devils got a jump. So that is going to be on the defense. They jumped the gun a little bit. So now, after that offsides call, they are going to pull Jaden Johnson and the special teams crew off the field. They're going to bring Victorelli out there, and they are appearing to go for 2. I mean, what do they say? When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and that's exactly what Woodbury's doing right here. Burlington City jumped, and now they're going to have an opportunity to extend that lead after the touchdown on the first play of the drive. A 55-yard touchdown from Anthony Reagan Jr. Here comes a handoff up the middle to number 1, Wilson Torres, and it is good. So they went for 7, got an advantage, and instead they come away with 8. 10:05 left in quarter number 1. Woodbury making their presence felt very early. We'll take a quick break. With less than 2 minutes past, Woodbury's up by 8. We're back here. Less than 2 minutes passed, and Woodbury got on the board. Jaden Johnson going to send this one away for the blue and gold for the Thundering Herd. He gets this one up away, and this one's going to go a long way. In fact, it'll go back into the end zone with, Jaquay Knight back there, and that's going to be a touchback, which will give Burlington City an opportunity from their own 20. They went 3 and out on their last drive. We'll see what they can get here on drive number 2, but that's got to be kind of a wake-up call. Anthony Reagan scores on a 55-yard touchdown on the first play of the first drive, setting the tone early, and Burlington City is definitely going to have to rebound in a big way to make that known, to make that presence felt, and to, kind of give a wake-up call to Woodbury saying, hey, we're still here. But they didn't get far at all on that first drive, and now there's going to be, I think that was a jump on the offense, and indeed it was. That will bring them back to 1st and 15 from their own 15. So 1st and 15 from their own 15 as Woodbury already in a prime position to stop the Blue Devils. And an excellent cheerleading squad here for the home side Thundering Herd. They are keeping everybody in business. That is incomplete, intended for number 9, Daimir Hill, the sophomore, but it almost got tipped away by Donta Vicarelli. That was a close call there, especially in your second drive. Your first actual play that got off in that second drive, you almost give up a pick. It's never a good feeling, but I think, one of my other producers, Vincent Folk of Haddon Heights, he's working his lawns today, but couldn't be here. But, one of the things that he says all the time is first quarter jitters. That's what he always talks about, is the fact that every team seems to not have it 100% right in that first quarter. We're going to have a timeout called by the Blue Devils with 9:57 left in quarter number 1. We'll take a brief break here on DWB. 8-0 Thundering Herd. Burlington City comes back from the timeout, and they will need to reel their offense back in on 2nd and 15 after the incompletion. Goes back to pass. It's caught. And he's going to get a big hit there from Ibn Muhammad after the pass by Shancy completed to Malachi James, and that's going to be 3rd down. But they barely got to the line of scrimmage. Or, excuse me, they got past the line of scrimmage, but they got back to where they started. It's going to be 3rd and 10. Burlington City used their first timeout of the half. Also on the tackle of that play, number 55, Jason Solomon. Also for live reporting from the sideline, we've got our good friends Brian Tortella and Tom McGurk down there, working hard as ever. Make sure to give them some love on social media for all the hard work that they do and bringing the live information right to you. Here comes a pass. This one's deep. It is incomplete. Intended for Jaquay Knight. And for the second time in as many drives, that's going to be 4th down. I think it's apparent that Burlington City is trying to do the best they can to advance the ball, but Woodbury is kind of blocking off every avenue that they've tried to get. They've tried to go with the deep pass, can't get that to work. They got the short pass to work, but how many times can you make that work before Woodbury closes up that gap too? So Shancy's going to send this one away. But what you have to realize is that, these guys are still trying to figure out what to do. They haven't had a lot of pressure all season. I mean, I hate to say it, but they've only allowed 22 points in the last 6 games of the year. From September 16th to that Middlesex playoff game, they had outscored their opponents with over 150 points for Burlington City, and they had only allowed 22. So the way that these guys are playing, they haven't really seen a lot of adversity. And right now, Burlington City's kind of getting that wake-up call like, hey, we're not rolling over these opponents. They might be rolling over us if we don't do something about it. But Kadin Booker will have a lot of time to think about that, as we've got 8:53 left in the first. It's still early, still very early, as Woodbury gets started with their second drive. They only got one play in on a 55-yard rushing touchdown by Anthony Reagan Jr. As here comes the handoff from Johnson. There's a flag on the play. He's going to get swallowed up, and he's not going to get anywhere with it. With Anthony Reagan Jr. getting stopped there. And we will see what the flag is on. We'll see what the white cap has to say about it. It is on Woodbury. So as they set up from the 40, from the 45, it's going to be a holding call on the Thundering Herd that'll knock them back 10 yards for a 1st and 20 from their own 35.
First and 10 from Woodbury from their own 35-yard line.
Roll, Johnson, roll. Roll. Get 5 yards, 7 yards. Get after that.
Johnson with a handoff. Reagan stays on his feet, and this time he gets taken down. But that holding call was a big blessing to Burlington City right there, as if Woodbury is going to move the ball as efficiently as they can, you've got to give the Blue Devils the best head start possible. And that's what they have right now. So it will be 2nd and about 17 from the 38. With now under 8 minutes left. It's hard to believe after all this, only 4 minutes have passed on the clock. Johnson's going to go back out to pass. He's getting ready to let this one fly. Lets it fly deep. It's caught wide open. Ibn Muhammad toward the corner, and it's going to be a touchdown, Woodbury. No flags on the play, and Woodbury gets their 2nd touchdown of the morning/afternoon. I mean, oh my. He just found him wide open, and Burlington City had no answer. It is 14-0. From the 38, that would make it a 62-yard touchdown to Ibn Muhammad. Johnson to kick. Vicarelli to hold to make this 15-0. Last time they tried the PAT, there was offsides on the defense, and they went for 2. This time, no such thing. The PAT is up, away, and on a high arc, it is good. Woodbury pulling away early. We'll see if they can keep the momentum. It's 15-0 with 2 scores for the Thundering Herd here in this first part of the first half. We'll be right back here on DWB.
Let them run.
15-0 in favor of the Woodbury Thundering Herd, and Burlington City does not yet have an answer as they allow 2 touchdowns in the first 4 minutes and 20 seconds of the ball game. Johnson's going to boot this one to Knight. He'll take it in at the 10. He rolls out to the right. He gets a block. No flags. He's still on his feet, and he finally gets forced out of bounds at his own 40. And it's going to be a good field position for Burlington City to start this drive, but you know, I don't want to dog on Burlington City at all, but if they want to win this game, they are going to have to turn up the Jets earlier than most would, because down 2 scores this early make for an interesting situation for everybody involved, just because you just have to be prolific. You have to move the ball, and actually they are not going to spot it from the 40. Instead, they are going to spot it from their own 37.
First and 10, Burlington City from their
7:32 on the clock. Clock is stopped here. Shancy keeps it himself and gets some nice yardage there. And that is going to be second and short here for the Blue Devils.
Second and one upcoming. Just outside of Burlington City.
Second and one from the 46. Shancy with the keeper again. He rolls around to the right. I don't think that was a smart decision there, as he is going to get sent down. I mean, I think he was just trying to get too fancy with it. He had a spot to the right side. All he needed was 1 yard. That's 3 feet. All you needed to do in that situation is fall forward, and instead they fall backwards to make it 3rd and 4. I mean, that's just not... I don't understand that right there, you know? I think he was just trying to get a little too cutesy with it, and there's really not much you can say there. All you need to do on a 2nd and 1 is fall forward and, you know, push your way through. But he tried to go with like a crossover move, and I think he was trying to, you know, bite off more than he could chew. Shancy with another keeper again. This time it should be good for a first down with number 7, Duran Dunbar. And it will be enough for the first Burlington City first down of this morning. And that'll move them across. And actually across the 50 to the opposing 49. Don't forget, next week we have Monday Night Football on November 13th with some JV clubs squaring off. It's the Audubon Green Wave and the Haddon Township Hawks in their annual Thanksgiving night game from the Richino Turf in Haddon Township. Make sure you be there at 6 o'clock. From the 49, Shancy drops back. Gets ready to let this one fly. He's got room from the pocket. It is... Did he catch that? Unbelievable. And it was indeed caught by Dymere Hill with an incredible catch down the far sideline. And that's going to be a first down for the Blue Devils. That was great. You don't get much better than that. I mean, making the catch with the defender on your back, getting ready to swat it away. I mean, if Burlington City is going to get points on the board at all in this first quarter, what you have to do is make sure that catches like that come down and make sure that you're good and that you move the ball efficiently. And I think that the Blue Devils have finally found that pocket in Woodbury's defense that they can attack on. Shancy under pressure, and he'll throw it away. So the D-line gets through to Shancy, and he'll force a incompletion out of bounds as he lets that one away. 5:44 left in quarter number 1, and it'll be 2nd and 10 here for the Blue Devils. And don't forget, before you put the turkey in the oven, we've got 2 Thanksgiving games on tap on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. On Thanksgiving Eve, it's the Woodbury Thundering Herd and the Gateway Gators from Gateway Regional High School. We'll be there. Start time should be 5:30 p.m. And then on Thanksgiving Day itself, at 11 a.m., we'll be covering the Pittman Panthers and the Clayton Clippers live on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Shancy's under pressure. He's got 3 men on him. It is incomplete. And now there's a late flag on the play as well. That was a flag that was thrown after the ball was incomplete. It was almost picked off by Vicarelli, and we'll see what the Whitecap has to say about it. Pass interference on the offense. And I'm surprised. Wow. I was surprised that was called so late. I thought, for a flag that late, I thought it would have been a personal foul for sure, but it's going to be OPI. And they are going to line. They got out of the huddle, and then they realized they had to walk it back some more. This is a huge hit for Burlington City. How far back is this going to be? It's going to be on their 50. Holy goodness. First down marker is at the 23.
Second and very long here.
It is going to be second and a country mile. Shancy drops back. He's under pressure. Lets it fly. There's another flag on the play, and it's incomplete after the hit by Dunbar. But where's this going to be? And it's going to be holding on the offense. Oh, my goodness. So they were already at second and 27. And now a holding call brings them back another 10. Oh, my gosh. Penalties declined. Wow. So it will be third down, and if my numbers are correct here with the first down marker at the 23, it's going to be third and 37 from their own 40. Actually, no, they're still lining it up at the 50, so with the penalty being declined, it is third and 25. Surprised they didn't knock them back 10 yards, I guess, when you're already back that far, so it will be third and 25. Big conversion opportunity here for the Blue Devils. If they can get through, Shancy runs past the line of scrimmage, and he couldn't find an open receiver or an open slot in the defense, and that's going to be fourth down. I mean, they're across the 50, but I'm very surprised by how Burlington City is playing. You know, the way that they've played this year, maybe you blame it on an easy schedule. I don't think that they had an easy schedule by any, definition of the word, but this is the first time all year since September 16th that they've really been under pressure. They've been steamrolling their opponents for the past 6 weeks, and now you're down by 15, and it just seems like they don't have a rhythm. Aiden Shancy to punt. Johnson back there to receive, along with Wilson Torres. Keeps it low. It hits off of Woodbury, and it will be picked up at the 32. That was almost an inadvertent play right there. That ball was live as it hit off of Woodbury's number 23, Omar Johnson. It basically hit off of him by accident. And whether you hit it by accident or on purpose, it still is a live ball, so they had to squander everything that they had.
Live ball is a live ball until it's dead.
Exactly. Live ball is always live until it's dead. From the 34. They'll be at their own 34 then, as Woodbury is going to try to drive through again. Woodbury with their lively cheerleading squad. Johnson in trouble, gets out of it, lets it fly, tipped and incomplete. Off the hand of Malachi James with number 53, Rashad Newkirk in there as well, and that's going to be an incompletion for second down. I mean, the way Woodbury plays their magical football, if you will, they just have so many lucky opportunities come their way. They've made incredible catches. They found open slots where they can just place the ball in the receiver's lap, and they make it work to perfection. But right now, where Woodbury is, you don't get much better than this. Again, the winner of this game will play Woodstown, the Woodstown Wolverines, next week. Timeout called by Woodbury. 4:17 left in quarter number one. If you're just joining us, it's a good game so far, but Woodbury's got Burlington City by the reins. It's 15-0 with 4:17 left in the first. We'll be right back. right, you can bring it back. In the backdrop of the Inspira Hospital here in Woodbury. Knowing our family history, we've been there plenty of times.
I was just thinking, if I flip over my chair again, we're right across the street.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion down the short sideline. Johnson in the shotgun. Blue Devils almost jumped there, had to regain their footing. And an audible on the offense and for the defense as they're making a lot of adjustments at the line. Johnson with a man behind him. He fakes the handoff. He's in trouble, scrambling, a flag in the backfield, and he is taken down at the ankles by number 10, Hashim Cooper. And we'll see what the Whitecap has to say about this one. And it's going to be holding on the offense. Well, we've seen how Woodbury's played today. And if there's going to be anything that stops the Thundering Herd, it's going to be badly timed penalties. And that's exactly what Woodbury just got bit with. They got bit with the incompletion, and then they got a second one on that holding call, and that's going to bring them back to 2nd and 20. But, I mean, the way that they've played today, they've been able to convert anything. They've been able to make anything work. So, prove me wrong, Thundering Herd, but Burlington City might finally have an opportunity to, reel Woodbury in, because maybe they're still just getting adjusted. They're taking a hike to get here. They're playing on the road. Here comes a pass. It's caught down the far sideline by Muhammad. He's still on his feet. Gets hit from the back. And that is going to be well short of a first. But it's going to be 3rd down and about 11 or 12. And they're going to line this one up from the 35. Actually, from the 33. Didn't get as far as I thought he did. First down marker is at the 43. And Woodbury's going to get ready to go here. They have been excellent so far in getting a lot of conversions done in an efficient manner. Johnson drops back. He's in trouble. Gets a block. Johnson has room. He's going to let it air out like there's no tomorrow, and it's tipped in double coverage. Number 6 and number 9, Javin Raspberry and Daimir Hill break that one up, intended for Marquise Taylor, and it is going to be 4th down. And Woodbury, for the first time today, they will bring out the punt crew. Of course, a busy weekend for everybody here at the South Jersey Football Media. Highland plays Seneca at 1:30 today. The Highland Tartans were the 7 seed. They got beat by Camden Eastside, but they had to forfeit the game because Camden Eastside used an illegal player. So Camden Eastside was eliminated from the NJSIAA tournament. And Highland, it was actually a really interesting story where Coach Brian Leary, here comes a nice punt from Johnson. He's going to get Burlington City with some unfavorable fielding position. They're going to bring it back to their own 20 where they'll set up. But Coach Leary of Highland, he posted a picture on social media of their players turning in their jerseys where they had kind of like Rubbermaid containers where the jerseys of one, maybe the road jerseys would go in one bucket, the home jerseys would go in another bucket, practice jerseys would go in another. And he said, such a sad day, the hardest part of my job is jersey collection day. And then 2 days after that, on Wednesday, is when it was announced that Highland would advance and Camden Eastside would be ruled out of the tournament. So they had to pack up all their stuff. They had to give the jerseys back to the players, kind of scramble and be like, hey, we thought we were out, but now we're playing again.
The happy scramble.
Yeah, exactly. Handoff up the middle, and Burlington City gets squashed. It's going to be 2nd down. But that's not the first time that's happened, especially with Camden and Camden Eastside. We saw earlier this calendar year in basketball, both Camden and Camden Eastside were voluntarily withdrawn from the state tournament playoffs after a fight broke out in a game between Camden and Camden East Side. So the Camden City Public School District, they voluntarily pulled both teams from the playoffs as a result of that altercation. Here comes a pass, and I don't think anybody was running their route there. Daimir Hill was the intended target, but the actual target was the grass. It's going to be third down. I mean, you could just see he wasn't even facing the ball when Chansey made that pass. I think that one guy was running one route, the other was running a different one, and that's what your 3 timeouts are for, to kind of make sure everybody is on the same page. And they're going to have to bring that back to the drawing board, as now they're on 3rd and 11 after a squashed rush up the middle and an incompletion. Brings them back to the 19-yard line at their own 19. We'll see what Burlington City can do here. Drops back. Lets it fly, and it's tipped by number 8, Marquise Taylor. And after another incompletion, that is going to be a 3-and-out for Burlington City. I mean, this is the perfect combination that you would want for a team like Woodbury. A good defense and a good offense. If you have good parts of both of those, you have a dominant ball club. And I think the reason why I thought Woodbury was going to keep this game close with the Blue Devils is, you look at that 3-game losing stretch that they had at the beginning of in the middle of the year. They started off the year with 3 easy wins over West Deptford, Pennsgrove, and Paulsboro. That one's going to drop. Picked up by number 14. That being Micah Anderson. And Woodbury will take it over from the opposing 48. But they started off 3-0. They got off to a great start, and then they ran into Gloucester, Haddonfield, and Woodstown, and including 2 home games, which it's been noted before, it's very difficult to lose at home in Woodbury. It's very, very difficult to lose at home. And then they did it twice. They lost 3 in a row. They went from a 3-0 start to a 3-3 start. They were able to get over 500 with a 49-14 win over Salem. Here comes a pass. It's caught. Not going to get too far with that one, though, on the pass to Vicarelli. And that is going to be 2nd down and about 2 or 3 from past the 40 at the 39. They're going to run it quickly here with under 90 seconds left in the quarter. I cannot believe it is still the first quarter. We've been here for almost an hour. Here comes a pass. It is caught and immediately wrestled to the ground, but it is enough for a first. And Woodbury's going to get that one done. Fans still filing in here as we wrap up this first quarter. Oh, he almost botched the snap, and he's not going to be able to get anywhere with it. Micah Anderson, after the bobbled snap, he hangs on to the possession, but that is not good for Woodbury. It's going to make it 2nd down and very long. Probably about 2nd and 16, 17 on that one, as they now have 35 seconds and counting in the first quarter. Woodbury leads 15-0 here in the waning moments of the first quarter here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. It's the South Jersey Group 1 sectional semifinal. The finals would be next week as Woodstown and the Wolverines beat the Pennsgrove Red Devils, a team that Woodbury took easy care of earlier this year. But Woodstown, if you remember, Woodbury lost to in their 3rd game of 3 in their losing streak. But he is away, and it's a touchdown. Anthony Reagan with 1.5 seconds left on the clock in quarter number 1. He gets his 2nd touchdown of the quarter, and that's going to make it 21-0 Thundering Herd. And Woodbury running away with this one early. I mean, it's still the first quarter, so you never know, but 21. So it is 21-0. And he'll get 6 for Anthony Reagan. 2 touchdowns, and the son of the head coach showing off his prowess here. Oh, that is a muffed snap rolling out to the right, and he is still going to get through. Vicarelli, excuse me, messed up that camera angle there. But he gets the 2-point conversion almost by accident. I mean, how do you make that happen? The snap didn't go anywhere, and they got the 2-pointer. With 1.7 left in the quarter, we'll keep it here, 23-0 Thundering Herd over the Burlington City Blue Devils. This broadcast is brought to you by the Garden State Pet Center, the place to be for the healthiest product choices available for your pet, including toys, food, cages, accessories, and more. Visit today 7 days a week on the 200 block of Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, or visit online anytime at exoticpetsnj.com. Don't forget, folks, we've got 2 Thanksgiving games on the leisure this year. On November 22nd, on Thanksgiving Eve, it's Gateway Gators and the Woodbury Thundering Herd from Gateway Regional High School. That game will be a 5:30 p.m. kickoff. And then on the actual Thanksgiving Day, before you put the turkey in the oven, tune in for the Pittman Panthers and the Clayton Clippers from Clayton High School, right down the road, about 30 minutes away from DWB's HQ in Audubon, if you will. That'll be an 11 a.m. start time. And, of course, then we take a little bit of a break, and we'll have basketball coming up around Christmas break. But as we say in the industry, there is no sleep in the broadcasting industry.
Certainly wasn't me sleeping in today.
I mean, I woke up like 6:30 this morning. I mean, you know, you got to do what you got to do around here, around these parts. Johnson is going to send this one away. He gets a nice boot on it. It is taken in at the 20. They're going to get one more play before the quarter ends, and a big hit by the Thundering Herd to wrap up this first quarter. They're going to set it up from their own 30, and we'll take a quick break. After 1, it's Woodbury ahead by a boatload, 23-0 after 12 minutes of play. BC will set it up from their own 27. As 1 quarter down, 3 to go. Man in motion for the visitors. With Woodbury up big early, they're going to fake it out to the right, but he's not going to get anywhere with that. And a big hit late out of bounds. And the referee ended up being a victim of that. Bill Evans here as well on the sideline in the bronze jacket. And was there a flag on the play? I'm not sure. No, I didn't see one. I mean, there's a bit of a gray area between what constitutes a late hit, and I think he just kind of got a little bit, I don't know what you want to call it, but that was a close call. So Burlington City gets trapped with a 2nd and 15 after the failed rush Number 1, Malachi, and that's going to go nowhere. Incompletion. What I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing miscommunication on the offense. Because that's the second time today that we've seen an incompletion with the receiver not even facing the ball. And you've got to think that the way that they're playing right now, there's just got to be some sort of miscommunication. Again, Burlington City, they're an excellent ball club. They've played excellently all year. They've been rolling over their opponents since week 4. But the devil is in the details, that's what they say. And quite literally, the Blue Devils having a lot of trouble here early. And we'll see what they can get here. Drops back. Throws a liner up the middle, and it's going to be short, intended for Jaquay Knight, and that's going to be another 4th down for the Blue Devils.
And that's going to bring up 4th down.
I mean, I know when I said at the beginning of the game, I said it was going to be a 1-score game, but I'm really surprised by how well Woodbury is playing,
Pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised, yes. The way that these guys are, shaking off every advance that Burlington City has put against them. They've made a couple of nice passes. They've had a couple decent gains on the ground, but they've had their sparks of, success, if you will. They've had their flashes of beauty, but they haven't really been able to string anything together long term that have been able to give them success. And that's what you need in football. You need a string of good plays that help. That one is sent away. I'm surprised that wasn't running into the kicker. Look out, he muffs it. Ball is loose on the near sideline. I think Woodbury got it back, but we'll see here. From the 50, there was a swarm of everybody that came in. I think it went out of bounds. So, yeah, that would still be Woodbury ball. That is something else right there. They're talking it over. 11:32 left in the half. They're bringing everybody in here. So they'll bring them back out. So it will be 1st and 10 for Woodbury from the opposing 48. But I was thinking that Burlington City almost got the luckiest break of the day on the punt, but no such thing. Johnson's going to go back to pass. He lets it fly over the middle. It is caught wide open. Muhammad, he breaks through 2 tacklers. He is going to be down inside the 10. He picks it up, and a huge opportunity here. Ibn Muhammad showboating a little on that one, and it's going to be 1st down in the red zone for the Thundering Herd. Big catch there for Muhammad as he very well expressed it. And on just the first play of the drive, it's going to be inside the red zone at the 10. And it's going to be 1st and goal, with the final destination being the end zone. Johnson with a snap to Reagan. He's going to look for the hat trick. He is going to fall forward in the end zone for they want a touchdown called. Everybody on Woodbury wanted a touchdown call, but they're going to snuff it at the goal line. I thought he was in there, but they'll have another opportunity. They're going to try to push forward. And this time, it is a touchdown Woodbury. That took longer than I thought it would, but a huge play there for Woodbury as they sneak that ball across to make it 29-0. As they add another 6, another half dozen to their monstrous score here in this first half. I mean, we might get out of here early because if the score holds, if there's a gap of 24 points or more, there is a running clock in the second half.
Oh, wow.
so we might get to our food truck festival a little earlier. But no, you don't want to root for that. You always want to root for a close game. But just right now, Woodbury has everything going for them. And we'll see what they can get here. Johnson gets the snap. Up, away. That is way up in the air. And it is good. That one almost went to the parking lot. That is one of the highest angled PATs I've ever seen. But it's going to be 30-0 with Woodbury up by a boatload and then some. We'll be right back. 10:18 left in a half. This broadcast is brought to you by Vincent's Lawn Service. Fall cleanup is here and here to get ready to go. Call Vincent Folk today at 609-413-0403. That's not what he told me on the script. I just kind of, yeah, I kind of muffed that a little bit, but you get what we're saying. Fall cleanup's here. Call Vincent Folk today at 609-413-0403. There's a kickoff up the middle. Takes a nice backspin. Taken in by Malachi James. And he gets wrestled to the ground by number 66. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me. Number 65, Camille Carter, with an incredible tackle on the special teams unit. That's going to bring them down all the way to their own 20. Would be just as good as a touchback. And Burlington City already down by a bunch. They are going to try to set this one up for success here still early in the second quarter. You're watching coverage of the South Jersey Group 1 Sectional Semifinal here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. We're also looking for sponsors, but we'll talk about that in just a second here after the rush up the middle by Shancy. That will be short. It'll be second down. We are looking for small businesses who want to get in the game with over 50,000 annual viewers here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you want to get your commercial or your small business or brand on the air, send me an email at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. You can find that email in the description of this YouTube video. We are selling sponsorship deals for as little as $150. We also are filming commercials on site for as little as $250 for a 6-month package. We also have different packages as well. We can send you our business profile through a PDF, and we can get you on the air on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you are a small business owner and you want to get your business on the air to an audience of over 50,000 annual viewers, send us an email today for more information. Oh, look at that. Jaden Johnson, Doran Dunbar with a huge hit and a big sack for the Thundering Herd. And he celebrates a little as well, and a late flag. Well, there's only so many celebrations that you can do before they're going to drop the hammer on you. And in a 30-point game, I think that we can tell where this is going. Yeah. So it is going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct call for an excessive celebration. I'm surprised that wasn't called at least 3 times in the first quarter. But again, I'm sure they've gotten several warnings, and no, I mean, you can't blame either side. You can't blame Woodbury for making that kind of expressive celebration, because they're a very expressive team. But at the same time, you're up by 30 points in the second quarter. I think that they should, kind of lay back a little bit. And I understand it's a playoff game, but there's a time and a place.
If you're only up by 7, though, you certainly don't start celebrating.
Well, no, I mean, not just that, but at the same time, you know, the way that Woodbury does their program, they do it in an excellent way, and they're not afraid to tell people that, like, hey, we're here, you know, if we make the play, we're going to show you, we're going to tell you, we're going to make sure you're here. Shancy with a keeper up the middle. And on 3rd and short after the unsportsmanlike call, that's going to be enough for a Burlington City first down. So that'll be 1st and 10 from the 30. So Burlington City inching their way across. First and 10 from their own 30. Shancy hands it off to Malachi. Spins around, and he's going to get smothered and wrestled to the ground. With number 52 in there, Isaiah Dunleavy. Or no, excuse me, that would be number 62, Nate Brunell, on the play. 2nd and long. By the way, during the second quarter, we hit a new DWB record for most concurrent viewers during a broadcast. The previous record was Kingsway and Audubon during the Ralph Shaw final last April, where we had 127. We broke that today with 146 watching at the same time, and it just happens to be on my 18th birthday as well. So
That's a good present.
I guess that is a good present. But we thank everybody for tuning in, even though this game seems to be running away. Your continued support of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting helps make my dream come true. We got a play on the, or excuse me, penalty on the play, delay of game on the offense. And I think we got a couple of guys trying to plead their case there. So that is number 44, Wayne North, trying to plead his case, but it's going to be 2nd and long here, 2nd and 15. But yes, we broke that record with 147 viewers, the most that we've had at one single time. And that is incomplete, over the head of Malachi James. Now to play. So it's going to be 3rd down and 15. But yeah, really the only other notable game today is Highland and Seneca. Again, with Highland being the 7 seed, they weren't even supposed to be in that situation because Camden Eastside got eliminated from the NJSIAA tournament. Made for kind of a complicated situation because, again, Highland had their players turn in their jerseys on Monday and then give them right back on Wednesday. That was great reporting, though, from Tom McGurk, who is down on the short sideline with us. It was either McGurk or Josh Friedman. They did an excellent job of reporting that story and how Highland is getting ready to play when originally they weren't supposed to. Shancy goes deep. He's got nobody there, nobody home. Almost taken in by Elijah Young, but intended for Knight. And it'll be another 4th down, and they'll bring out the special teams unit again. I mean, you got to think here, if Woodbury lets off the gas, if they put in their, their reserve guys, you just have to think, what's going to happen in a situation where, what do you talk about at the half? Crazier things have happened before. What we say is that as long as there's 2 minutes on the clock in football, you have a game. I'm not going to say, for baseball at least, it's never over till it's over. But in football, I mean, there is a point where it is over. You kneel the ball, you take down the clock. In basketball, you intentionally foul. Those kind of things, they can put the game on ice. It's taken into 45. And we've got a flag. We've got multiple flags running down the far sideline and in the end zone, but now we have another flag. We have 4 flags on the play. Oh my goodness. Oh, my. There were at least 3 different flags thrown at 3 different times, and now the referees will meet and figure it out. I love what the public address announcer said. He said it's laundry day here in Woodbury. Yeah, I mean, it is.
We'll let the refs conference up and find out what happened. The initial flag back by...
There was a flag back at the opposite 43, and then there were 2 more flags at the end zone, but that first flag makes me think that there was a block in the back that's going to bring this back. So again, looks like hold. He's looking for somebody. So a hold on the receiving team, Woodbury. Okay.
Dead ball, we have a personal hold against Woodbury, and then a personal foul against City.
Thank you.
So just got clarification from the clock operator up here in the booth with us. That was a hold on Woodbury and then a personal foul on Burlington City. So I would imagine with that being offsetting. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So yes, they are offsetting penalties.
We need him to come over on the weekend.
And it will line up at the 37. .6:28 left in the half. Woodbury up by the boatload, but now that dilemma is settled, we'll set up shop here from the 37. Woodbury on offense here. Johnson in the shotgun, gets the snap, drops back, rolls it off to the right. It's caught by Muhammad. It's taken in. It's going to be enough for a first down. No flags yet. He's going to waltz through. He's got another. Ibn Muhammad with another touchdown for the Thundering Herd. Ibn Muhammad lets it fly. And they get a 38-yard score on the first play of the drive. Woodbury's been hitting it hard, and they've been hitting it early. It is going to be an even 36-0 for the Thundering Herd. They'll go for the PAT. They have not missed an opportunity yet. They've had 2 two-point conversions, and they've made every PAT so far. Johnson the kick, Vicarelli to hold. It is up, away, and it is good. 37-0 with about 6 minutes left in the second quarter. It is an excellent ball game so far for the Woodbury Thundering Herd. Burlington City will have to regather themselves and see what they can salvage in this first half. We'll be right back. 6:16 left in the ball game, or left in the half, excuse me. $37-0. Woodbury up top here, taken in at the 20 by Malachi James. He's running in the wrong direction, and he's down at the 15.
Wrap him up like a Christmas present.
Do we need that? It's a 37-point game. Do we really need to say that kind of stuff? I don't know, but I mean, this is the time for Woodbury to, I mean, maybe I'm a little bit naive. Well, I mean, you have to be a little bit tough. You have to be. Because in this business, you got to tell it like it is. And, the way that we're at right now, it's 37-0. I think Burlington City should not be tough on themselves because the way that they've played well. Woodbury's just had their number at every turn, at every intersection. He scrambles. It's blocked. He caught it, and he's in the end zone. Unbelievable. He tipped the ball into his own hands, caught by number 54, Amir Arnold. And that will stand for a score. A pick six for about 5 yards. Might be the shortest pick six I've ever seen, and it's going to be 43-0. Are you kidding me? I mean, at this point, this game's just starting to get ugly. I mean, Woodbury beat Salem 49-14 in their last game of the regular season. They took down Riverside 40-8, and now they are leading by even more as Johnson sends this one away on a low flyer. It is good. 44-0. Herd over the Burlington City Blue Devils. We'll keep it right here. 6:16 left in quarter number 2 here on DWB. Don't forget, we have our Thanksgiving schedules coming up. We've got the Audubon Green Wave and the Haddon Township Hawks for their JV Thanksgiving game on Monday, November 13th. And then for our actual Thanksgiving games on Thanksgiving Eve, it's going to be the Gateway Gators and the Woodbury Thundering Herd from Gateway Regional High School. 5:30 p.m. start time on Thanksgiving Eve, and then on Thanksgiving Day itself, it'll be the Pittman Panthers and the Clayton Clippers, 11 a.m. start time from Clayton High School. That'll be a fun one to wrap up our football season. I mean, this has been an incredible football season that we've had here on DWB. I had never done a high school football game before this year. We had done youth football for several years, but never something as serious as this, and I never would have thought that we would have gotten so much growth over the year from our football schedule. This year we covered 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. This is our 19th game of the season, and by the end of it we'll have 22 football games covered for the entire season. And for every team that we cover, there's another 3 that are like, hey, we want a game. We want you to cover for us. And I'm like, hey, I'd love to. But there's only so many games on the schedule, and I can't be in 2 places at once. So, I love the fact that we're getting so much love from the South Jersey and Central Jersey football community. It's just excellent the way that these guys are, giving us so much love. Especially for this game as well. I would have never thought that so many people would have watched this. I was doing my intro, and we had a good 12, 15 people coming in, and it only grew as time went on. So, as this is the last football game of the season that, quote, matters, because everything else after that are the Thanksgiving games, so they're more for team pride, if you will, and to get yourself an even 10 games on the year, you want to just kind of sit back and acknowledge, I remember 2 days before the season started, we rushed to get preseason coverage. We did Bishop Eustace and Camden Catholic. It was a 33-0 game, and it was so lopsided that Camden Catholic called the game in the middle of the third quarter. As here comes a handoff up the middle. Not going to get too far, and that'll be taken down for 2nd and long. And then I get a text later that night from Andrew Daly, the Gateway head coach, and he's like, hey, you want to come out to our scrimmage tomorrow? It's 9 a.m. And I'm like, sure. I'll take anything I can get. They're playing Gloucester Catholic. Gloucester Catholic won 19-13. We have, and then we opened up the season for real with Cherry Hill East and Triton the next day. 2nd and 9. Shancy with a keeper. He's going to get a first down. So that's going to be Burlington City's second first down advancement of the day. And they're going to move the ball along here on the 42 with under 5 minutes left in the half. I mean, this has been a long first half. We started the broadcast at 10:15 a.m., so you subtract 15 minutes from the hour and 32 we've been here. It's been a long first half, to say the least. Usually by this point we are well done with the first half, and we're usually in the third quarter or something like that. But that's the kind of game we roll. Here comes a handoff. Shancy with a keeper. Gets pushed out of bounds. Oh, look out. Trash can gets tackled. Luckily, not too much damage there next to the Gatorade cooler. My fear was that he was going to hit the Gatorade cooler, but...
A little early for the Gatorade shower.
Exactly, yeah. But, I mean, with that, you would have thought that the cooler would have been, like, next to those benches over there so that you have a little more runoff room, but I don't know. Still 44-0. Woodbury on a roll.
7-yard line.
Shancy again with a keeper.
Shancy keeps it, not much doing.
It's going to be third down. But they do get up to the 50. And they're still trying to sort things out down here.
A host of defenders in there.
Third and short for Burlington City as they try to move this ball across. Shancy again with a keeper. That's going to be short. It's going to be neutral gain from around the 50 or 49. So it's going to be 4th and short, but in the position that you're in right now, I think it's only wise to go for it. You got nothing to lose.
Time to practice your 4th and short.
Exactly.
For the next game.
What do they say? The brotherly shove and tush push for the Philadelphia Eagles. They play tomorrow night versus Dallas. There'll be a timeout called by the Burlington City Blue Devils as they get set for a 4th and short with 3 minutes left to go in the first half. We'll be right back with Woodbury up by a bunch. $44-0. Burlington City trailing by a bunch, but they're on 4th and short. Shancy's got an opportunity. He's under pressure. He's got 4 men on him, and he goes down. And Woodbury's going to pick this one up from the 35. I mean, Shancy didn't really even get touched by anybody. He just kind of went down and gets it right under the pressure. And that is going to be a turnover for the Blue Devils as they just have not been able to get anything going. It feels like a lot of the youth games that we've covered over the years where one team just gets all the momentum I mean, as soon as we saw on the first play of the game, or excuse me, on the first play of Woodbury's offensive, slate, the 55-yard touchdown by Anthony Reagan, I don't think they've had a single drive over 5 plays long. They've just been punching it in, back and forth again. But I don't know here. 1, 2, 3. I think they were short a guy, so they got him out there. Johnson in the shotgun, drops back, lets it fly over the middle. Oh, did he catch that? No, he did not. It's incomplete. Almost picked and caught. Marquise Taylor back there, and Knight on the defensive coverage for the Blue Devils. They're going to set that one up at the 35. I don't really understand, though, why we're passing for such big yardage still in a 44-point game. I mean, at what point is it not running up the score? I mean, I know you don't want to let off the gas in a playoff game, but at some point, you got to do something. Here comes a handoff to Wilson Torres. He breaks free. It's going to be a first down. There's a flag on the play. He's still got it. Spins around. Pirouette still on his feet. And inside the 15, there is a flag. So hold that thought. And it is going to be an illegal block on, holding on Woodbury. Still counts the same, though. So that progress by Wilson Torres is negated. As the great philosopher says, with great yardage comes great penalty flags. And that's going to be 2nd and long for Woodbury after that penalty.
Woodbury gets called for that infraction. That knocks them back a bit.
I mean, Torres had a great run. The fact that he stayed on his feet for as long as he did was impressive. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 30, actually closer to 29, with now 2 minutes remaining in the half. They'll dump a pass off to the left, caught by Marquise Taylor to the short sideline. He gets tripped up. Still stays in bounds, so the clock will run. And it will be a Woodbury first down.
First and 10, Woodbury. From the Blue Devil 20-yard line.
Johnson drops back, lets it fly, and wide open. Marquise Taylor opens it up again for a 20-yard score in the far corner of the end zone, and with under a minute left in the half, it's going to be an even 50-0.
Nobody else can get it. And we're going to add 6 more.
Oh my goodness. I think this is the most amount of points I've ever seen scored in the first half. Even when Buna played Gloucester, Gloucester put up 46 in the first half. And the fact that this is happening in the second round of the playoffs just goes to show how darn good Woodbury is this year. Johnson gets it up, away, and it is good. It'll be 51-0 with 57.5 left in this first half. My word. We'll be right back. 51-0 in the first half. I mean, this is just, it's a beatdown. Not really much you can say about it. Here comes a reception at the 20, taken in, and Burlington City with a slide takes out a chunk of grass with him, and inside the 30, Burlington City is going to take it in with the return by Demir Hill, number 9. This broadcast is brought to you by Doug Does Anything, your local handyman. For any job needed, no matter how big or small, give Doug Does Anything a call, 856-412-0118.
First and 10, Blue Devils from their own 27-yard line.
First and 10 from the 26. As Burlington City is going to set this one up for one last drive before the half with 51 seconds on the clock. Chancey with a keeper. I mean, you know, Burlington City came into this game with a lot of energy. They came into this game with a lot of intensity. But, you know, some of the South Jersey's best are here today. Brian Tortella, Tom McGurk, Bill Evans is here from the Courier-Post. You know, all of these great reporting minds are here, and they're reporting on a game that doesn't really have much of a storyline. It's just one team scores a lot more than the other. They've got 10 seconds left. They'll probably get one more playoff before the half. They'll get that last play going. Number 22, Malachi Sadler. And at the end of the first half, Woodbury with a beatdown. It is 51-0 over the Burlington City Blue Devils. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back after this. Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go for kitchen cabinets, countertops, and cabinet accessories, heavily discounted compared to big box retailers. Stop in, take a seat, and watch as our experienced kitchen designer makes the kitchen of your dreams right in front of you. Tommy D's is the best in the business for quality kitchen countertops and cabinets that fit all budgets. Call us today at 856-210-9504 or visit the new location in person on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue in Belmar next to the 42 on-ramp. Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
1 half down, 1 half to go. Who would have thought that this would be the situation that Woodbury is in right now? 51-0. Even Bill Evans called it improbable. We thought that this game would have been at least somewhat close for the majority, but Woodbury took the money and ran as they lead by a boatload here at the halftime break. Colin Conway is down there with Brian Tortello. We've got a great group of folks reporting on the game here for both the Blue Devils and the Thundering Herd, but, you know, this is just a situation where it seems like Woodbury right now still has a lot of their starters in, but I imagine that would change as the day goes on, because if Burlington City still can't get a grip on it, you never know. Never know. I mean, really.
You never know. Burlington could come back with 60 points.
It's unlikely, but if Woodbury was able to score 51, anybody can do anything.
Yep, any given Sunday.
And they've got 24 minutes to prove it.
Or in this case, any given Saturday.
Exactly, yeah. This is going to be a kickoff by Burlington City's number 44, Wayne North. And he sends that one away. Picked up by Woodbury, by Muhammad. And he'll be down at the 50. I think the biggest blowout I've seen this year, not from a game that I reported, but just in general, was Timber Creek and Camden Catholic. Timber Creek won that game 68-0. And they only had about half of those points in the first half. I mean, this is some of the most lopsided football that I've seen in a while, but it's not really Burlington City's fault. Woodbury's just been overpowering in every way. I haven't really seen anything like it before, and anything this egregious. And yes, with the score being the way it is, the clock is running to start the second half, with the deficit being of over 24 points. Hand off up the middle. Kadeem Woods Jr. But yeah, Wilson Torres is on the sideline. Duran Dunbar is back there as well. Dante Vicarelli. So about like 80% of their starters are out of the game. Now, a lot of them are getting a rest. I mean, Muhammad is out. Taylor has his helmet off. Johnson is also down there as well. The backup quarterback is in. Number 27, Tim Holmes. He'll get the keeper, gets wrestled up with a duo of Blue Devils back there. Number 10, Hashim Cooper. And that's going to be third down. Again, the other notable game from South Jersey this Saturday will be the Highland Tartans and the Seneca Golden Eagles at 1:30 p.m. later today. They'll be third down and mid-range. Lets it fly. There's a line drive. It is taken in, and a big hit. Stops number 17, Nico Satirian. That's going to be fourth down and short. Some final scores from last night. Rancocas Valley fell to Washington Township 19-7. Cherokee beat Kingsway 28-21. Millville took care of Shawnee 41-7. Winslow took care of Hamilton Season 32-6. In the Battle of the Creeks, Mark Tribble was there yesterday. Cedar Creek beat Timber Creek 32-21. Holy Spirit beat Immaculata 36-33. Camden took care of Holmdel 21-7. Woodstown advanced to the sectional final versus beating Pensgrove 34-14 last night. Shalik beat Shore 16-14. It's going to be over the middle. They're going to fall forward, and it's going to be enough for a Woodbury first down. Haddonfield beat Gloucester 17-7 in a Colonial Conference tilt. Willingboro beat Pleasantville, 57-29, and Haddon Heights fell to Rumson Fairhaven, 28-7. Of course, the consolation seasons are over. Football season is winding down, if you will. But we've had a lot of surprises this year from our football clubs. There's been a lot of underdogs. There's been a lot of different storylines that have emerged this year. As from the 39, it's a high snap. Holmes is going to get swallowed up, and he's going to get taken down here. Gets a late tackle. With Holmes getting taken care of there with number 9, Kadeem Woods Jr. in there as well, and it's going to be second down. But I remember when Buna played Gloucester. That was one of our first games of the season. Gloucester won 54-14, and the score was 46-7 at the half. And there wasn't a lot of scoring outside of that.
From the Burlington City 45-yard line.
It's going to be 2nd and 15 after the 5-yard loss. Snap to Holmes. Handoff to number 5, Anthony Reagan Jr. Number 9, Kadeem Woods, and there's a flag on the play. It's going to be a hold on the offense. Said I will bring him back. Snap by Holmes, handoff to Woods. It's going to be short, and a big tackle there by number 10. That being Hashim Cooper. Seems like the Blue Devils do have a lot of their starters in, but the stands on the visiting side have mostly emptied out here in this lopsided affair. Now 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter, already halfway through. But that's the kind of thing that can happen, in a situation like this on 3rd and 25, where once the running clock starts, the first half, where you get most of that scoring in, takes 60-70% of the ball game from you. Here comes the pass. It's caught by number 16, Dante Davis. He's going to break through. He gets to the 30, to the 20, gets swatted away with number 9, Demir Hill, on that one, and it's going to be an easy first down for Woodbury. Excuse me, that was number 16, Thomas Lewis. Dante Davis is number 16 on Burlington City, and it's not on the field at this time. But, yeah, I mean, football season's obviously not over. There's still some games being played in terms of, like, crossover games. The consolation games wrapped up on Thursday. But there's still teams that are getting extra games in on Thursday. So we're going to see if we could try to pick up a game for Thursday. Friday and Saturday will be out of commission as Holmes muffs the snap and a litany of blue and white all over him. Number 21, Andrew Carroll, the senior, on the drive there. And it's going to be 2nd and 20 after the loss there and on the muffed snap. I mean, it's very possible that Woodbury could use the entire third quarter on one drive, but that's the beauty of the running clock, that we have an opportunity where Woodbury's going to try to let the clock run. They're just going to, kind of lay loose. They've already got what they need. They've already got every asset that they could possibly ask for to put this game out of reach. And there was a stoppage on the field, but the clock is still running. and it will be stopped with 3:53. So,
Unsportsmanlike against City.
oh, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Burlington City.
Woodbury.
Oh, let's see.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. I imagine somebody might have said the magic word, or the magic words. Yeah. So number 54, Amir Arnold, he has a touchdown today. He gets taken off coming in as number 58, Jordan Wallace.
Oh yeah, you threw the flag just as they were setting up the line.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, that'll happen. But they'll run the clock again. So they'll set it up again. Here comes the direct snap to Arnold. He'll take it himself. He'll get within 12 yards of the first, but it'll still be short. It'll be 3rd down and 12.
Tackled by number 6. That's going to bring up 3rd down here for Woodbury. Ball at the Burlington City 20-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, we're already under 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and Woodbury has,
Flown by.
yeah, they have chewed all that time on one drive. And that's the beauty of the running clock. Arnold with a rush up the middle. He's going to get a drive. He gets a first down. He's going to rush towards the goal line. It's going to be a first down, but it's going to be short of the end zone. I mean, especially when you're winding the play clock down to its, to the thinnest end. That's what you have. And don't forget, Woodbury will still have their Thanksgiving game versus Gateway on the 22nd, Thanksgiving Eve. Up the middle. And a touchdown, Tim Holmes. Tim Holmes brings it in, and it's going to be 57 to nothing. I don't know what they're doing here. They're making some late changes. So they will send this one away in what is now a 57-0 ball game. We've seen teams score 57 a couple times this year. Willingboro beat Delran 57-19 on Thursday Night Football earlier this year. Oh, and it's a muffed snap taken in, and it's going to be no good, and somebody lost a shoe. Amara Sacco lost the left shoe, and he's now trying to bring it back on his foot. He finally gets it, and that is going to be a failed PAT, the first of the afternoon for Woodbury. With 1:35 left in the third, we'll be right back. 57-0 Woodbury. 57-0. Woodbury over Burlington City. We've got a kickoff here getting set to go. Johnson's got it, gets it in the air. Taken in at the 15. Gets a big hit. And gets taken down inside the 30 for a Burlington City ball here with 1:15 and counting left in the third quarter. You're watching coverage of the South Jersey Group 1 sectional semifinals here on Dan Wilkins Broadcast. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. We're also looking for sponsorship opportunities. If you're a small business owner, for as little as $150, we are giving away, or not giving away, but we are selling advertising space on DWB, including ad reads, commercials, and social media promotions, from anywhere to $150 to $1,000, depending on what you want to pay and depending on what you want to advertise your business for. Again, we have our business profiles available via PDF that we can send to you if you are interested in something of that sort. Handoff left side to Malachi James. Not going to get too far on that one, and it's going to be second down with now 20 seconds left in third. And getting up slowly, Duran Dunbar.
Stay tuned at the end of this quarter. Cheerleaders get ready. We're going to announce the cheerleaders individually.
So that will give us a wrap for the third quarter with a 3-2-1 and an Auld Lang Syne. So after 3, Woodbury not letting off anytime soon. It is 57-0.
Woodbury 57, Burlington City 0.
Here in the fourth quarter, play in progress. Sorry about that, folks. That is going to be short of a first.
All right, we're going to pick it up with the juniors. Let's give it up for Caitlin Wink.
So if we start the fourth,
Captain,
let's see where they set this one up. On the rush by Shancy.
And Jewel Burkhauser Destino. And our seniors, Captain Samaya Moore. Amaya Missy Mike Washington. Ariana Bourgeois captain, Janasia Stewart, Day Ogando, and our mascot, Amara Bundy. Let's give it up for
There is...
Bundy.
Clock is going to get stopped here. There is a... So, there is a injured Burlington City player on the far side of the field.
Quick shout out also to the man on the camera, our shutterbug, Jordan Black. Let's go, Jordan.
Yeah, there is some sort of injury on the far side for Burlington City, hence why the clock is going to be stopped at 11 minutes. What we heard down here, yeah, that injury was about a minute ago, and it seems like they're huddled all around him. So they'll bring this back. Whatever situation it was for Burlington City seems to have been handled. The clock didn't run at the start of the quarter on that play with some sort of mechanical error, so they ran it down to 11 minutes. With this today, Woodbury would improve to 6-3 and would play the Woodstown Wolverines next week in the Group 1 sectional final. Comes the handoff.
Flag down.
And there is a flag on the play.
On that far sideline.
Keep it running, keep it running. Let's see what they call here. It's going to be on Burlington City. It's going to be a holding call. Now under 10 minutes left to play. A lot of downtime now that the game has kind of devolved into this. Shancy's going to go back to pass. He looked for his man deep downfield. It is caught. And it's still going to be short of a first after the holding call, but they get all the way to the 45. Some more out-of-town scores from yesterday. Toms River North defeated Freehold Township 54-13. Mainland took care of Colts Neck 49-7. Long Branch beat Brick Memorial 21-7. Old Tappan defeated Lincoln 36-0. St. Augustine beat St. Peter's Prep 35-14. Phillipsburg beat Westfield 42-24 on the road. On our partner network, the HSG network, the Marlboro team took care of the Hillsboro Red Raiders 12-0 to put an end to their season. Marlboro will face the number 1 seed Cherokee next week. Delsey beat the Manasquan Braves 43-7. Point Pleasant Borough took care of Cinnaminson 49-21. As we said, Rumson Fairhaven took care of Haddon Heights 28-7. It's going to be 3rd and short here for the Blue Devils. Shabazz beat Glenridge 58-14. Glassboro shut out South Hunterdon 20-0. And that's going to be reverse progress there as it's going to be 4th down. Paula VI defeated Notre Dame 51-14. And now Paula VI, which is based from around here in Haddonfield, will now have to make the long trip up to play none other than the number 1 seed in the non-public tournament, Bergen Catholic, next week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, get out.
And that's going to be on a Saturday morning, too. They're going to have to get up very early for that one. And then finally, West Morris took care of Sparta 30-9. Some other games going on today. Wyoming Seminary plays Hun at 1 p.m. Here comes the 4th down. Shancy goes out. That should be enough. And it will be for a 1st down. West Essex plays Summit at 1 o'clock. Newark Central plays Barringer at 1. Seton Hall Prep plays St. Joe's Metuchen at 1. Highland plays Seneca at 1:30. My dad's alma mater, Hamilton West. Alma mater, excuse me. Hamilton West playing Jackson Liberty at 2 p.m.
Alma mater is from Cars.
Yes. Yes. And then our only
Alma mater.
Yes, our only night game of the weekend is actually at 6:30 tonight with Paramus Catholic and Donovan Catholic. That's going to be a good game. It's a shame we couldn't pick that one up, but it's going to be 6:30 p.m. Here comes a pass deep over the middle. It is incomplete, and it's going to be 2nd down. Intended for number 9 on that play, Demir Hill. Woodbury last year won 2 New Jersey State titles for Group 1 in both football and men's basketball. This is a historically good school with athletics. They do an excellent job. Dan Howie, the outgoing AD, does a great job. And ironically enough, the man who is taking Howie's place as Woodbury's AD as Chancey scrambles, gets the pass. It is complete, it looks like. Yeah, that is caught by number 22, Malachi Sadler. So the ironic part of all of this is that the outgoing AD for Woodbury, Dan Howie, he is moving to Audubon to be their guidance director for the guidance department. So he is not replacing Tony Carbone. He is just becoming a guidance director. But the man who is replacing the Woodbury AD is now going to be Mr. Anthony Browning, Burlington City's AD.
Oh, that is ironic.
So I guess he's getting a little preview of the school district here this afternoon as here comes the pass. It is caught at the 20. Great catch by number 1, Malachi James. Down the sideline. Although, hold on here. No, I'm sorry. That was an incompletion. Didn't get his feet down. So they will respot it at the 40. They'll have one more shot with 4 minutes left in the ball game. It's incredible how quick this second half flew by. Our first half took an hour and 32 minutes, and less than an hour later, the second half is getting ready to be done. With 4 minutes now left in the half. Here comes a rush to the left side. He's in trouble, and he's going to just give himself up there for a turnover on downs to put this game on ice. With less than 4 minutes left, Woodbury leads Burlington City 57-0. And I think that for a player of the game option, you'd have to give it to either Anthony Reagan Jr. or Marquise Taylor or Ibn Muhammad or any of those three. They did an excellent job. Timeout is called by Woodbury, so the clock will be stopped with 3:38 to go in regulation. Woodbury will talk this one over. They have 2 timeouts remaining. We'll be right back here on DWB. Woodbury leads big late. Well, how many times do you see a score like this? Not often. Woodbury leads 57-0 over the Burlington City Blue Devils. This is certainly an interesting time as Woodbury, remember, started their year off 3-0. They had powerful wins over West Deptford, Pensgrove, and Paulsboro. And then they followed it up with 3 losses, 2 of them at home, to powerhouses Gloucester, Haddonfield, and Woodstown on the road. They came back, beat Salem to finish the regular season at 4-3, just a year after nearly going undefeated and winning the state championship. They come back with a 40-8 win over Riverside. And you never would have thought that the second round playoff win would have been larger than the first, but it was, with it being a 57-point game instead of a 32-point game. Here comes a handoff to number 25, Jason Chandler. And that is going to be 2nd and 8. So Woodbury, assuming the score holds, would play Woodstown next week in a game where Woodstown beat them in the regular season, so it will be a bit of a revenge game for Woodbury next Friday, which we will not be covering any sectional finals games because we'll be out of town unfortunately. But here comes a rush to the short sideline and goes out of play. Or excuse me, stays in play. So regardless, the clock will still run. Less than 3 minutes now. I'm going to have to give the player of the game to Anthony Reagan Jr. because he set the tone early. On the first play from scrimmage, he had a 55-yard touchdown, and he added a couple more and, had a hat trick of scores in the ball game. You don't get much better than that. And, just the way that they played today, Woodbury came out swinging. They let it fly early. They kept the ball on the ground. They made it work. They kept the ball in the air. They made it work. They made anything that was thrown at them work to the point where they didn't play any of their starters in the second half. Here comes a catch to number 13, Cameron Scott. And that looks like it's going to be short of a first. It's going to be 4th and short with now 2 minutes left from the 45. Again, as this will be the last playoff game that we are covering this year for Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, unless we pick something up out of the blue, we'd like to thank everybody for coming along with us for this 19-game journey that started off in a tiny press box at Camden Catholic on August 23rd and made its way all the way to here on November 4th. From the middle of August all the way to the present day, we have had an excellent football season. We've collected over 7,000 views on our football games this year. And for somebody that is in their first year covering football as a senior in high school, who's planning to go to college next year, it makes me really think about the growth that we've had as a business. We've sold some sponsorships. We've made a lot of friends along the way. Yes, as well. The commercials that you see on this broadcast are produced, filmed, recorded, and edited by yours truly up here in the booth. But DWB, we do record our own commercials. So if you want to get in on that, send us an email at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. Here comes a pass to the left side. It is caught. No, incomplete. Clock will still run, though, and Woodbury is going to get ready to pack their bags and head to Woodstown next Friday with a 57-0 victory over the Burlington City Blue Devils, a game that has been improbable from the start in terms of how this game turned out. Nobody thought that the game was going to be this out of hand. They're going to line it up at the 50. They'll call the shots. They'll call the game. No knees required. And the Woodbury Thundering Herd with an even bigger win in the second round than the first. The clock will go to 3-2-1, and we can say Auld Lang Syne as the Woodbury Thundering Herd secure their second playoff win at home in as many weeks, beating Riverside 40-8, and with a monstrous 57-0 win over the Burlington City Blue Devils. Woodbury goes to 6-3 on the campaign as Burlington City ends their campaign early at 8-3. What an incredible game for Woodbury. They came out of the gate swinging. They got a 55-yard touchdown on the first play from scrimmage. You don't get much better than that. It set the tone. Woodbury led 23-0 at the end of the first quarter and then led by 51 at the end of the half. I mean, the fact that they just pounded them so early and continued that pace is a truly monumental feat. That will wrap it up for us today here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We'll be able to get our celebration started early as the game ends at 12:49, a game time of 2 hours and 19 minutes. From everybody here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan, our social media coordinator, Anthony DePalma, our financial manager, and producer, Donna Wilkins. I am Dan Wilkins. We will see you Monday for coverage of South Jersey Group 1 girls soccer with the finals between the Shalek Cougars and the Audubon Green Wave. Our next football broadcast will be Monday, November 13th, with the Audubon Green Wave and the Haddon Township Hawks JV clubs facing off in some JV football under the lights on a Monday night. That's all for us tonight. Woodbury takes care of Burlington City 57-0. That's all for us today. Have a good one, folks.